Hi, friend. What's going on? What's going on? Hey, y'all. Hey. It's 1 a.m. there. What are you doing awake? You need to be sleeping. Hey, what's going on? How is everyone this evening? Today's Monday, right? This Monday. Let's see. Oh, excuse me. Y'all. Did y'all hear? Oh, you just came from work? Okay. All right. I'll give you a pass on that. You just came from work. Oh, shit. Y'all, did y'all hear about Anijah, our Pakistani princess? You know, the lady that went over to Pakistan to meet the man to get married, and she went over there, blah, 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 all of that. Okay, so I was on social media today, just kind of like looking around like I normally do, and someone gave us an update on her situation. Now, this is all allegedly, we don't know, but it appears that she has not, she has not been seen like in the last several days, and allegedly, we don't know for certain, but allegedly she was supposedly arrested in Dubai for smoking in public. Apparently that is against the law to smoke in public. I don't know if it's just against the law for women to smoke in public or anybody to smoke in public, but we do have, you remember the last videos we saw, she was in the streets of Dubai smoking cigarettes. She even threatened to stick a man with her cigarette. She was gonna burn him with her cigarette. No, we knew that. Well, apparently, allegedly, she got arrested for smoking in public, and from what I understand, that offense in itself can be up to 5 years in prison in Dubai. So no one has seen her in the last several days, so I don't know what's going on. We started out with this whole situation with Anijah, and yes, we were all entertained by it. I was definitely entertained myself. She was in Pakistan, and the Pakistani people did embrace her, took care of her. I think that they were very hospitable to her and everything. They even sent her back. Well, they was trying to send her back home. And of course, she from Pakistan, she had a stop in Dubai, which she was supposed to only get off one plane and get on another one. And no, instead she decided she was just going to make her way into Dubai. And it appears that she may have gotten herself into some trouble. But for now, we don't know what is going on with her. I do wish her the best, as I'm sure most people do. Yeah, she did threaten a man with a cigarette, and that was on video. We saw her threatening that man with that cigarette. But I hope that she's okay. I hope that she hasn't gotten herself in too much trouble. Maybe they will be compassionate, but listen, Dubai don't play. That's one of those places that they do not play. They don't care nothing about where you're from. If you're American, they don't care about you not knowing the customs, the laws, and this, that, and other. They ain't trying to hear all that shit. So I hope that she is okay over there, and hopefully her family can get in touch with her, at least find out where she is. So that's the latest that I've heard. So let's talk, because I'm just gonna let you guys know that I may have to jump off here really quickly. I'm having my tint on my car windows replaced. So I'm waiting for the guy to call me and let me know when he's done. So hopefully, he said it's only going to take a couple of hours. So I may have to jump off of here real quickly and then go pick up my car and then come back. But in the meantime, let's get started. So, oh yeah, I got my braces off. So I got my braces off. I got my retainer on right now. I have to wear the retainer like pretty much 24 hours a day, except for when I brush my teeth and eat. But I got my braces off. So I got that. But anyway, okay, let's talk about Venus. So thank you guys for joining me this evening. We are going to be talking about, thank you. We are going to be talking about the Venus retrograde, the upcoming Venus retrograde. Oh, this lighting is terrible. Give me a second. Let me see. Oh, that's better. Okay. So we're going to be talking about the upcoming Venus retrograde. So, you know, all the planets, except for the luminaries, which is the sun and the moon, have their opportunity to go into retrograde. And Venus is no different. Now, we know that the retrograde, the most popular retrograde that we have is our Mercury retrograde. And because Mercury is retrograde at least 3, sometimes on rare occasions 4 times a year, but we do get at least 3 Mercury retrogrades. So everybody pretty much knows about the Mercury retrograde. But again, all of our planets go into retrograde at some point in their phase, just depending on and the length of time that a planet is in retrograde and the amount of times a planet goes retrograde is going to vary from planet to planet, just depending on how fast or how slow the planet's orbit is. Now, Venus is no different. Venus will be going into retrograde, which, remember, retrograde in essence means moving backwards. However, our planets do not move backwards. What it is it's an optical illusion. What the planet does is it slows down its rotation. So while it's slowing down its rotation, the other planets are continuing. I don't know, they're having a party downstairs, I don't know. Are continuing their normal rotation. So it gives the optical illusion that the planet is moving backwards, when in sense it's not, it's just slowing down. But retrograde also means a time of reflection. So it's a time for reflection, renewal, re-energizing, looking back on things, people, places, things, situations, things of that nature. And it's also a time it gives you the opportunity to slow down and appreciate the moment. Slow down and course correct. Slow down and just reevaluate what is going on with your life. It just gives you that opportunity to slow down and smell the roses. Now, speaking of smelling the roses, when we have our Venus retrograde, now, remember, Venus is the planet of love. It's the planet of money. It's the planet of our material things, our creature comforts. Venus is the planet of how we express our love, how we like to be loved. It's about our senses. It's all the things that have to do with the luxuries and the things that we enjoy in life. That's what Venus represents, especially, so we go with love, money, and relationships. So when you have a Venus retrograde, one of the big things that happens with the Venus retrograde is, because it's a planet of love, this is going to be the time where you will more than likely have a reappearance of past loves. Now, even with the Mercury retrograde, Mercury retrograde will bring back people from the past. So that includes people of all, of all relationships. So that could be love, that could be friendship, that could be family, that could just be random people that you've known throughout your life. But when we have a Venus retrograde, it really, really focuses on our love relationships or our love interests from the past. So one of those things that you could be seeing is across the board in general, a lot of people will be possibly having people from the past come back that you've been in a love relationship with or a dating situation with, things of that nature. This could also bring up love dynamics, issues, problems, opportunities. This could also bring those things up again as well. So this, for example, could be if you're in a relationship with someone and during the course of this Mercury retrograde, an ongoing issue that you may have thought that you resolved with regards to, within your relationship starts to come up again. Maybe you have a situation where your partner was not prioritizing the relationship. Maybe they were focusing too much on work, and you went through this cycle where you guys were making it an effort to make sure that you prioritize the relationship. But all of a sudden, during the Mercury retrograde, you start to feel it slip back or revert back into that old dynamic, or conversations, arguments, situations coming up from the past within the dynamics of your relationship could rear their head again as well. Now, because Venus also rules money, this could have the same effect with regards to your money. So this could look like, on the beneficial side, opportunities, money-making opportunities from the past coming up. This could bring old opportunities for career advancement. This could have old opportunities for work advancement. This is a great energy for business owners, specifically for business owners, reaching out to old clientele. You could also see, if you're a business owner, a return of old clients coming back in. So a lot of times with the Venus retrograde, particularly in my business personally, this is really a good time for me for my business, because I get a lot of my old clients that I have not heard from in a while coming back. And it's funny because they typically come back during a Venus retrograde to talk about their love life. I don't think that's a coincidence. I just think it kind of works out that way. So I love the time for the Venus retrograde, because it does give me the opportunity to see some clients that I may not have seen in a while, and we get to talk about their love life. So you may find it in that way with regards to money as well. Now, this could also bring back old bills, old financial obligations. This could bring back an unexpected expense. Keep in mind, Venus rules love. So, love and money. So this could be an unexpected expense comes up, an old bill comes up, something that you've owed that you may have forgotten about, financially needed to be taken care of. So we're looking at all things. It not necessarily is going to be negative or positive. It just depends on what is going on in your personal life, is what you will see a resurgence of across the board. But things like this in general, most people will be experiencing as well. Now, another thing that we use the Venus retrograde for is, some of you may experience this cycle of reevaluating your self-worth, your self-value, how you treat yourself. During this time, again, we reevaluate our relationships, our value system, what we believe in, our morals, our values. We self-evaluate our self-worth, how we're showing up. We also evaluate the things that are important in our life. And we possibly go through this cycle of deciding whether certain beliefs, maybe certain relationships, a lot of this is relationships, are they still of value? Do they still serve us in a way that is beneficial for us and also the other person. So we'll go through this cycle of reevaluating our relationships. And when we talk about relationships, it's not just romantic, but it definitely does include romantic relationships. But this could be relationships of all kinds. So romantic, marriage, dating, family, friends, business, anybody that we connect ourselves with. We may reevaluate that and try to figure out what is the value in this relationship that I'm in? What is the value of me being tied to this other person? It could also be you reevaluating not just relationships with other people, but relationships that you have with maybe your career path, maybe your educational pursuits. This is also a great time to reevaluate your relationship with money. Now, y'all know I'm always talking about that we have a relationship with money. And depending on how we see it, we can operate in a relationship with money like we operate in a relationship with other people. So we can look at it as, is this a healthy relationship that I have with money? Or is it a toxic relationship? Is there something that needs to be changed about how I view money, how I tie myself to money, how I tie myself to material possessions? So we're going to be reevaluating during this period. And I didn't even tell you how long it's going to be. The Mercury retrograde will officially start on March the 1st, and it will continue on until April the 12th. But keep in mind, like I always tell you, you can start to energetically start to feel this cycle and start to have these experiences anywhere from 2 weeks as far out as a month in advance of the official date. So some of you could have already started to feel the Venus retrograde pull and how it's going to show up in your life during this cycle. And this cycle is retrograde is like a month and a half. All right. So does anyone have any questions about the possibilities or what the Venus retrograde is before we get into detail on how it's going to show up in your life based on your rising sign? Has anyone started to actually feel Venus retrograde's pull yet? Well, I'm experiencing it already because, like I told y'all before, I just dropped my car off a few hours ago to get the tint redone on my car. So Venus rules, material possession. So that's it's already here. It could be already here. Oh, you have. Okay, so some of us have already started to feel it. So I've already took my car in to get my tint redone. So that is me having some work, something done over with regards to my vehicle, with regards to a material possession, which Venus governs material possessions as well. So I'm looking at that. Oh, another thing is I got my braces off. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but this was actually the second time that I had braces and I had to get them redone because I did not wear my retainer properly the first time and my teeth reverted back to what they were doing before. So this is my second time with braces. And of course I got them off about a week ago. So here I am again, repeating the whole cycle of braces, the retainer, and all of that going on. So yeah, I'm there. And I got my eyebrows done again the other day. I had my eyebrows microbladed probably like 3 years ago. And then I just went and got them done, redone again about a week or so ago. So all of the aesthetics, all the beauty things that fall on the Venus, I think that's a lot what's going on with me as well. So with that being said, give me a thumbs up if we are ready to talk about how this Venus is going to show up for you in your life. Now, you always remember that my predictions are going to be based on your rising sign. So hopefully you have your rising sign, you know that. If you do not know your rising sign, as always, you can get it. It's really easy to get. Thank you for the thumbs up. You can just Google natal chart, free natal chart calculator, free birth chart calculator. You can use whichever comes up first. You're going to input your information into that calculator, which is your date of birth, your place of birth, and most importantly, your time of birth, because the time of birth is what determines your rising sign is. So tonight, again, as always, we are going to be prioritizing our rising sign. So you're going to be listening for your rising sign first. You can also listen for your sun sign as well and your moon sign. And you're going to listen to them in that order if you want a well-rounded overview of what this cycle may be like. But we're definitely going to prioritize the rising signs. So I see my niece is on here. I don't know if she remembers her rising sign. Do you remember your rising sign? But I'm going to give everybody the opportunity, just a few minutes, if you want to calculate your rising sign really quickly, come back on the live. And if you don't want to do it now, you can do it at any time. The live will stay up and you could just come back and listen for the playback as well. Now, I don't want to be on here all night because I don't know. I may be going to work tomorrow. I'm not really sure. So I don't want to be on here all night. So I'm not going to be able to go back. If you miss your sign, you'll just have to go back and listen to the playback, because I want to kind of get through these really quickly, and we should be able to get through them relatively quickly, but at the same time give enough information where you can understand what is going on with the Mercury retrograde. All right. So let us get started. So the Venus retrograde, the dates again are officially March the 1st through April the 12th. However, you could already be experiencing this cycle anywhere from 2 weeks to a month in advance, because we are actually in the post-shadow period. So that energy has already started. Venus again rules love, money, material possessions, beauty, our self-worth, and our self-value. Now, the signs that are going to be hosting this Venus retrograde is actually going to be two signs, because the Venus is going to move through two signs during this cycle. So from March the 1st to March the 24th, Venus is going to be retrograding in the sign of Aries, all right? And then from March 24th through April the 12th until the end of the cycle, it will be in the sign of Pisces. So we have two different types of energy happening here during this cycle. So I'm going to just combine them all together and give you a synopsis, and to kind of let you know when you may start to what energy you're going to feel at the front end of this cycle, and then the energy that you're going to enter into the into the end of the cycle. So first things first, we're going to start with Aries rising. So if you're in Aries rising, sun or moon, the Venus retrograde is going to be impacting, of course, your first and your 12th house. So for my my Aries risings, it's going to look like for the first half of this cycle with Venus going through, retrograding through your first house of your physical body. So some of the themes that could come up with Venus in retrograde in your first house is going to be how you look. So if you're an Aries rising, this could be a lot of thought or focus on your physical style, your physical body, your personal style, and how you're showing up in the world. Some of you could be deciding that, you know what, I want to have a different look. I want to put more focus on my physical being. I want to, hey honey, update my wardrobe, because remember, Venus is all about the beautification of things. So it could be putting you in the mindset of, how do I look? How am I showing up in my physical self? Do I need to make any beauty changes? Now, beauty changes could be just, can cross the gamut of anything, because this could be as simple as, hey, I want to try out a new makeup. I want to try out a new hairstyle, or I want to have cosmetic surgery. Oh, one thing that I will say about cosmetic surgery, this is across the board. Cosmetic surgery is not recommended for a Venus retrograde. Please, if you can avoid it, any type of elective cosmetic surgery, especially major cosmetic surgery, this is really not a good time for you to do that. simply because it is retrograde energy. And number one, the surgical procedure may not go as smoothly as possible, and you actually may not like the results after a while. And this goes back to Aries risings. You as well need to be careful about any type of changes that you make, especially changes that are going to be long lasting or permanent. So for Aries risings, I'm not to say that, we stop our lives because the planets have decided to retrograde. But I will say that there is a more ideal time to do those types of things. And it would not be now. What this energy is good for is for you to plan. Is for you to play around. So say, for instance, you wanted to say you were saying that, I want to cut my hair. I want to go from wearing long hair to short hair. I would not suggest you do it during this retrograde. What I would suggest you do is maybe you go and you decide to play around with a wig or something. You go into a wig salon and you try on wigs just to try to get an idea of what you would look like with short hair. It'd be the same if you were coloring your hair. At the end of the cycle, you may not necessarily like the end result. So this is more of a planning around what it is I want to do with my physical body, with my physical self. Now, we're also still talking about the first house. So this could equate to any type of personal goals that you have for yourself. You could be reevaluating what it is that you've set out for yourself. So if you've had a personal goal around, again, physical fitness, maybe a career goal you have for yourself, maybe a love goal. Now, Aries rising is also one of those people that more than likely will have a strong propensity to have old loves come back. So as we go through this cycle, if I feel like you're one of those people that's going to have an extra emphasis on old lovers or old love dynamics coming back, I will say that. And Aries rising is one of those people that I feel like will either have people coming back from their life from a romantic standpoint, or the opportunity to breathe fresh new life into an existing relationship. So this could look like, if you're in a relationship, the two of you renew your vows. Maybe you decided, we want to renew our vows. We want to recommit to each other. Maybe we want to go on a trip. Maybe we want to start, quote unquote, dating each other again. But breathing some fresh new air into your relationship could be a big part of this cycle as well. Now, as we move to the second half of this cycle, which is March 24th to the end of the cycle, for my Aries risings, this Venus retrograde is going to shift into your 12th house. So then we're going to be looking at your internal healing. So as much as the first part of this is going to be about your physical body, the second part of this retrograde is going to be about your internal healing. So the 12th house is going to be lit up. So this is going to look like you contending with your traumas, your hurts, things that you repress, things from the past. So we're going to be doing a lot of inward work during this time. You'll definitely be one of those that will be refocusing on or reevaluating your self-worth, how you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself. Are you honoring yourself? Are you treating yourself well? Is going to be a significant thing for you in this second half. Now, this could also bring up with Venus in the 12th house. A lot of times with Venus in the 12th house, we can start into romantic relationships that we may not necessarily need to be in. Because the 12th house is about secrets, this could be some of my Aries rising starting a secret relationship. Now, the secret relationship could take on many things. Just depends on why are you hiding this relationship? Is it because you have reconnected with someone that we all know ain't no good for you, and you said you would never get back with, and now you've reconnected with this person and you don't want anybody to know that you've gotten back into this toxic relationship? Is this relationship secret is because this is somebody you're not supposed to be seeing because maybe you're in a relationship, or the other person's in a relationship, or the both of you are in a relationship, and we got a secret lover type dynamic coming on? That could be. This could also look like, with Venus in the 12th house, someone finally confessing their love for you. Maybe they've been romantically interested in you and they've not been able to share that, and they decided during this Venus cycle, this retrograde, that this would be a great opportunity for them to confess their undying love to you, or they're interested in you, at least in dating. So we could be seeing a lot of unrepressed feelings coming about, dynamics around secret relationships coming about. This could also bring out just secrets in general, because the 12th house does govern secrets. So this could be some information that's maybe have been withheld from you with regards to anything with regards to a love affair, romantic relationship. This could be about money as well, or material possessions. Okay. Now, Taurus rising. Hold on a second. I got to take my retainer out because this is annoying me. Okay, thank you. I know y'all don't want to see that. But okay. Oh, that's much better. Okay, so if you're a Taurus rising, sun or moon, but Taurus rising, we're going to focus on that. This Venus retrograde is going to start out for you just very much like it ended for Aries rising in your 12th house. So all those things that we just talked about with regards to Aries rising, 12th house, secret relationships, self-healing, self-care, traumas and hurts resurfacing. That's going to be what you could be experiencing on the front end of this Venus retrograde from March 1st to March the 24th. But on the second half of this retrograde, which is going to be from the 24th to April the 12th, it's going to change for you. And this is going to be highlighting your 11th house. So we're going to be contending with friends, social networking, social networks, also networking itself. This could also look like groups and organizations that you're a part of, and your long-term goals, dreams, and wishes. So if you're a Taurus rising, you may see a theme on the second half of this retrograde with friendships and or friends coming back. So this could be people that you've been friends with, years ago. Maybe the friendship ended and you run into them somewhere. This could also look like maybe people that you went to school with, or you've just met through life, you start to see again. But this is a lot of casual acquaintances, friendships, and things of that nature. You could be possibly running into a lot of those people during this cycle. At least during the second half of this cycle. This could also look like some of my Taurus risings possibly returning to a group or an organization that you may have been affiliated with maybe some years ago, and you decide that you want to reconnect with that group or organization. Maybe you wanted to reconnect with a worthy cause or something to that effect, because the 11th house does govern humanitarian type situations. So you could be volunteering in a situation or an organization that you may have worked with in the past. This could also look like if you are currently in a group or an organization, maybe your role in that organization changes. So maybe if you are the president of some group or an organization, you decide that you want to step down, or maybe you're taking a more active role in the organization, but something about it may revamp itself. And this could also really look like, for both your friendships and your organizations that you're a part of, you actually reevaluating whether or not these groups, organizations, and or friends still align with who you are as a person. Remember, the Venus retrograde is going to be a lot about self-evaluation on all levels. Like, are we still honoring ourselves in these relationships, in these things that we're connected with? So for you, you could be reevaluating your connection with your friends. Are you honoring yourself? Are you being valued in your friendships? What value are you putting on those connections that you have on a friendship level, and also on a level of your groups and organizations? Now, one of the best things about this particular second half for my Taurus risings is this could be you hearing about some unexpected money coming your way. Maybe someone pays back a loan that you made to them, and you never thought you were going to get that money back, but they decide to pay you back. This could be an unexpected check that comes in the mail from wherever. I don't know when. Do we really care where the check came from as long as the check clears? But you could be getting some unexpected money coming your way. You may be getting an unexpected gift or some type of unexpected blessing that comes your way as well during this cycle. And also, with this being the area that governs salary increases, some of you could be getting a salary increase. Maybe this is something that you talked about some months ago, or maybe last year you talked about it, or there was, a gossip around the office that you guys were going to get a raise or something, but nothing ever came of it. This could be a time that you could possibly be getting that raise or getting some kind of increase or unexpected bonus on your job as well. And this is also a great energy on this second half of it for you to reevaluate your long-term goals as well, because in the 11th house, long-term goals, dreams, and wishes come back as well. Now, I should have said this at the beginning of the live. Any type of reconnection that you have with people from the past, whether it's romantic, friends, family, things of that nature, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get back into these relationships again. But what it does say is be mindful of whether or not you want to reconnect with these people. Just be very cautious about getting back into these dynamics, getting back into these relationships. Remember why you got out of the situation initially. And just wait. It's nothing wrong with reconnecting. It's nothing wrong with talking over things. But if we're talking about getting back into a long-term committed relationship with someone, you may want to wait until after the cycle is over. And then you can really see clearly whether or not things have changed between the two of you and whether or not this is a good idea for you to reconnect. Okay, and like I said, that goes for any type of dynamic. Friends, family, old job, any of that, any kind of connection with regards to that. Just don't be so quick to reconnect with stuff. Now, the next one is going to be Gemini rising. The first half of this cycle is going to be exactly what we just talked about for Taurus rising on the back end, because your 11th house of friends, long-term goals, dreams, and wishes, groups, and organizations. So what we just talked about is going to be what you will be experiencing the first part of this retrograde, which is March 1st to the 24th. But once we get to the 24th until April the 12th for my Gemini rising, the retrograde is going to slip into your 10th house of career. So again, we're looking at an area that governs your career life, your public image, your public standing, your reputation. This is also a parental house. So we try not to put a gender on the parent. So let's just say a parent. So your mother, your father, someone that you look to in a motherly role or a fatherly role. So we're looking at the parental house here. We're also looking at higher ups. So this is our management. So this is, our management, supervisors, CEOs, things of that nature. And also this is the area that governs law enforcement and the titles that we wear. So for my Gemini risings on the second half of this cycle, number one, some of the things that could come back for you is career opportunities. So you could be hearing back from old bosses, old co-workers. A lot of you could be running into people that you used to work with, because we're looking at your career life. So this is the people that you cross paths with during your career life, your career cycle as you've grown your career. So you could be running into a lot of people that you used to work with, a lot of people that you used to work for. Now, this would be a great opportunity for my Gemini risings. If you were trying to return to a career path, or particularly a job that you used to have. So this would be a great time for you to reach out to those connections that you had. So that would be like reaching out to an old manager or an old supervisor or an old CEO, someone that can help you with that. Now, This could also be, if it's not necessarily going back to a job, this could be also contacting those same types of individual that can help you on your career path as you're moving forward. So just say, for instance, you were trying to land a new job and you needed a referral or a reference letter. So this is about you reaching back to someone, maybe a manager or a supervisor that you used to work for, with regards to getting a reference for something that you're trying to attain yourself, maybe a new career, a new job for yourself. That's how that ties into that. This could also be like for you, some of you, because the 10th house is not just a professional house, it is a personal house as well. Some of you could be restructuring or sitting down, especially if you're contending with a divorce or a separation of assets in a personal relationship. Some of you could be sitting down to finally have a final mediation around the division of assets or the division of properties, or maybe even the division of children in a divorce or in a relationship, or maybe you're dissolving a business with someone. So you guys are splitting up the business. And so now we're having mediation and we're finally coming to a resolution around that. Maybe some of you had communications had broke down and now you're finally, let's go back and start this again. And we're going to try to divide this up fairly, because this ties in again to money and things that you own, your material possessions. So we could be separating assets in some way, maybe in a divorce or maybe in a business or in some type of lawsuit or legal situation that you may have had yourself going into, Gemini rising. Now, this could also look like dealings around your parents. Again, this is a parental house. Most of the time we're looking at more of a fatherly role. So this could be something geared towards your father. So some of you could be reconnecting with your dads. Just say, for instance, there has been a family rift. There's been some issues with the family. Gemini rising, this could be a time that you reconnect with family. You try to come to a resolution around a family dynamic, particularly with your parents. Or maybe you are assisting your parents with regards to a legal situation as well. So if it's not you trying to resolve something, this could be you helping or assisting your parent with a resolution around a business dealing, a separation of assets, or something to that effect. All right. Or simply put, this could be you trying to restructure, figure out whether your relationship with your parents or, what you're going to do moving forward if there's been an issue. No, it's not Virgo rising. Not yet. So we could be looking at dynamics coming back from the past with regards to your family or your parents. All right. If you are a Cancer rising, the first half, March 1st to the 24th of this Mercury retrograde, is going to be just what we talked about with Gemini rising, because the Venus retrograde is going to start in your 10th house. So just what we talked about with Gemini rising on the back end of their retrograde is going to be what you contended with on the front end. But when we get to March the 24th until the end of the cycle in mid-April, for my Cancer risings, this is going to look like 9th house matters. So 9th house, this could be you traveling. Now, I know we say that it's not the best time to travel during a retrograde, particularly during a Mercury retrograde. And I'm going to stand on that because retrograde energy just causes somewhat of confusion. However, there is a silver lining in this particular one. This is really good if you are traveling, because the 9th house does govern long distance travel. But if you're traveling during this cycle, you would have better luck with it being a success, and you're actually enjoying the trip if you were traveling to somewhere that you have been before. So let's say, for instance, you decide, hey, I want to take a long distance trip. I want to go out of town. I always enjoy going to the Dominican Republic. Why don't we just go to the Dominican Republic during this cycle? You know how the lay of the land, you know how it works, you know the customs, you enjoy yourself all the time. So you know you're guaranteed to have a good time at a destination that you've already been to. So this particular cycle is great for returning for long distance trips somewhere that you've already been before. So let's just say it's not a trip. This is a time for you to be renewing your passport. This is a time for you to be renewing your visa, renewing any type of travel documents, or some of you could be contending with a citizenship type of dynamic. Now, I wouldn't say it would be time for you to initiate anything, but if you've been waiting on some type of passport, visa, citizenship, travel type documents, you may be getting those documents back, and maybe they may have been stalled here over the last few weeks. During this cycle, this is probably going to be the time that you get all that taken care of. This is the education house, so some of you could be deciding to return to school or reassessing your major. So let's just say you are a Cancer rising that is currently in school or has been in school for some time, and you have been struggling with what you're studying. You may decide to kind of think about, is this a direction that I want to go in? I've been in school for maybe 6 months, a year. This is not connecting. I don't know if this is the field that I want to study. I may want to do something else. If you're going to make a change on it, this will be the time to make the change on this cycle, because I think it will be beneficial for you. But again, those are for people that have probably been struggling with, who are currently in school, but been struggling with their career decision. Now, again, this would be a great time if you want to return to school. If you want to return to get that degree, you want to finish up that degree, whatever that looks like, this would be a great time for you to do that. Some of you could be reconnecting with your faith, your religious practices. This will be a time of a lot of reflection around whether or not you still connect with what you have been using as your spiritual or your religious beliefs. So some of you could be reevaluating that really, really heavily and wanting to find out what is the value, what is the worth in what it is that you're worshiping. Are you connected with it on a soul level? Are you connected with it on a level that resonates with you, that makes you feel whole, that makes you feel safe? So some of you could be questioning, reevaluating, taking a step back as well. Or it could be some of you returning to, if you've gone astray from a religious practice or a spiritual belief, you've been disconnected from it. Some of you could have a renewal of that, and you start to draw yourself closer to spiritual practices or religious beliefs that were important to you from the past. Okay? The next one is going to be, Leo rising. That's me. So the first half of this Venus retrograde for Leo rising is going to be what the second half of Cancer rising was contending with around education and foreign travel. So everything that we just talked about now, this is what Leo rising is going to be contending with on the first half of this cycle from March the 4th to the 24th. But on the second half of this cycle, from the 24th until April the 12th, Venus is going to be retrograde in your 8th house. Now, for Leo risings, your 8th house has been lit up for at least the last year to year and a half, probably a little bit longer. So what this is for my Leo risings, including myself, is your 8th house of other people's money, other people's resources, debt, inheritances, loans, taxes, credit cards, your sex life, and your intimate connection with others. So with Venus being here, and Venus being the planet of love, it's being the planet of material possessions, the planet of beauty, and it's being in retrograde, this is going to task my Leo risings with the reevaluation of how you are connected with, or how you do money and resources with other people. So what you could probably be experiencing is a lot of self-reflection around how you spend money, especially how you're spending money with someone else. Now, this doesn't mean that each Leo rising is connected with someone. So we're going to take it from the standpoint of, if you are a single Leo rising, or you are not financially connected with someone else, This is about your debts. So reevaluating your debt, reevaluating your budgets, repaying or paying down any type of debt or credit cards, debt, student loan debt, any kind of debt. So you're going to find a lot of Leo risings getting serious about what they owe and how they can make more money and how they can make their more money grow. So some of you may deciding to put yourself on the strict budget, starting to really evaluate what is coming in and what is going out financially, revamping your entire budget. You may get on a debt repayment plan and get real serious about that. It's crazy because I just joined Hillman TikTok Wealth Building 101. And so one of the things that we were tasked with doing was figuring out what is our net worth. More strategic with their finances, absolutely. So the first assignment was to figure out your net worth. So I sit down to figure mine out. Ooh, child, I got a lot of work to do. So those are the kinds of things that, debt consolidation that you're going to be contending with on the level of finances. And it will also be the same if you're connected with someone. Just say you're married, or you are living with someone, or you're in business with someone, or you have family business, or you are dependent on someone for finances. This same type of energy ties into how you do finances with another person. And it also ties into the other person as well. So this could be how they do finances that ultimately affect you. So a lot of that in conjunction with is going to be a financial thing and reevaluating your relationship. You're another one that's going to be reevaluating your relationship with money, and it is in a healthy way. Now, sex and intimacy is in this area. So this is another one of those signs that could be seeing lovers from the past come back. So this may be someone or someones that you may have had an intimate connection with. And we know intimacy and sex are two different things. So it could look like someone that you may have had an intimate connection with, an intimate relationship with, comes back into your life. Or even if they don't physically come back into your life, maybe you start to think about that connection you had with them and want to recreate that connection or that feeling with someone else. Or they could physically or in some way reach out to you. Or this, from a sexual level, this could be you rekindling a sexual relationship with someone that you had. Or if you're in a relationship with someone and the sex has been kind of dried up, which a lot of my Leo risings have been experiencing that because they also have Saturn in this area. Some of you could be seeing a breath of fresh air to your sex life. I'm happy for us for that. All right. So that's how you'll be experiencing that second half of that Venus retrograde. If you are a Virgo rising, what we just talked about with Leo rising on the second half with this 8th house connection with other people's money, resources, sex and intimacy, guess what? That is what you will be contending with on the first half of this Venus retrograde. So from March the 1st through March the 24th, all those things what you just talked about, you will be contending with on the front end of this. Now, when we get to the second half of this Venus retrograde, which is March the 24th through April the 12th, my Virgo risings will be contending with one-on-one relationships. So a lot of this Venus retrograde for you is going to be tied into other people. So on the second half, we're looking at your 7th house. If anybody in this whole cycle will have people from the past to return, it will be Virgo rising, because your 7th house of one-on-one relationships will have Venus going through it on the second half. So when we talk about one-on-one relationships, we talk about all relationships of all kinds. Loved ones, family members, friends. Yes, oh God is right. Friends, business, romantic, old lovers, past lovers, boyfriends, girlfriends, all of that. Everybody's trying to make their way back to Virgo rising on that second half. So, what could this mean for you? You're going to be reevaluating your relationships. And this is going to be a great time for you to do that because it is a time for Virgo risings to figure out who should be in my life and who shouldn't. Or figuring out what does this dynamic or what is this relationship, what do I want it to look like? What do I want to get from it? Is it serving me? Am I being valued? Am I being appreciated? Do I feel worthy? Are these people worthy to be in my life? So it's going to be a lot of self-reflection around your one-on-one relationships. Some of you are going to have to make the decision whether or not people need to continue on into this new phase of your life. So you, they should say that this is scary, how I've been thinking about this heavily. Yeah. And it's all going to come to a head. Like I said, on the second part of this retrograde from the 24th of March to April the 12th. So this is going to be a prime time for you to be supported in figuring out who needs to be in your tribe because you're literally building your tribe at this time. So this is a time for you to do that. So if it's not people directly coming back into your life, this could actually look like either you reflecting on people from the past, you thinking about people from the past, or this could be, especially my Virgo risings that are currently in a one-on-one dynamic with someone around loved ones or a relationship. Old past issues coming up in that relationship again. So, for example, you guys are in a relationship and you think that you contended with everything that you can contend with around a relationship. But this Venus retrograde brings back something that you just cannot resolve with the two of you. So here we are contending with this same dynamic over and over again. Or better yet, it could be you're in a relationship and you see this is a brand new person, but you see something that you had to deal with in previous relationships. And you're like, oh, I'm not dealing with that again. We need to fix that because I've done this before. So it could look like that for you. But Venus in retrograde, I'm going to tell you, if someone comes back from a romantic standpoint, and this could be from any standpoint, I don't care what the relationship looked like, be very mindful with reconnecting, okay? It always feels good to reconnect with someone, especially under a Venus retrograde, until we get out of it. And then you like, okay, now I remember why I stopped fucking with you. Because the shit is still the same. So be careful with reconnecting and making commitments and making promises under this cycle. It just may not be the best time for you to do that because you possibly are not really seeing it clearly. You're actually seeing it the way you want to see it. Just as I have Saturn in the 7th, so I feel like it's making it more intense of cutting people off. Yeah, it really is. Because especially with, like you said, with that Saturn being there for my Virgo risings, this is like being really, really serious. Like Saturn is like, I'm not here to play games. I'm here to really, really structurally put together a foundation in these relationships. And I need to make sure that these are people that are going to be here for the long run, not just for the temporary, but going to be here for an extended period of time. And I want it to be quality relationships as opposed to quantity. All right. So that's what we're looking at for Virgo risings on the second half of this. Give me 1 second. said, was it good?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right, I'm back. Okay. All right. So that's how my Virgo rising's Venus retrograde on the second half is going to contend. Now, if you are a Libra rising, this Venus retrograde for you is going to be what Virgo rising is experiencing on the back end. So all of that relationship stuff, and I was about to say that relationship shit, but all that relationship dynamic, one-on-one stuff is going to be what starts off the Venus retrograde for you. So that's going to be for my Libra risings from March the 1st through March the 24th. But when we get to the second half for Libra risings, the Venus retrograde is going to highlight your sixth house of health and fitness. So health and fitness, both mental and physical health, your dietary needs, how you eat, what you eat, your work life. So this is going to be your work environment, who you work with, around, and for. This is also going to look like the area that governs how you are of service to others. So for you, with the Venus retrograde on the second half, some of you Libra risings could be contending with a lot of old co-workers. Now, the 11th house will bring back old friends, but for you guys, this is probably going to bring back more co-workers. So running into people that you used to work with, maybe used to work for, or maybe y'all worked in the same building, but there's a work-related theme about these encounters, all right? This could also look like, if you're currently in the workforce, maybe someone coming back that may have left the company before and they decide to reapply and they're coming back. Or maybe someone is coming back to your quote-unquote department. So maybe, and this could be a lot of my Libra risings that are coming back from working from home. Because your work environment is here. All right. So this could be you returning back to the office. I hate that for y'all. If that's y'all, I hate that for you. But it could look like something like that. So you go from your work environment used to be the work at home or working virtually or remotely. And now y'all been called back to the office. So now you're back in the office with everybody else. So that could look like that. Now you could use this as a positive way. If you wanted to find a new career or a new position, this would be a great time for you to reapply. Especially if it's a career opportunity that you were interested in previously, and for whatever reason it didn't pan out. This may be a time that you want to go back to that and try it again. This would be a great time for you to revise your resume. Maybe you have some new skills, some new experience to add to it. So this would be a great time for you to do that. Now, this is also going to be a good time for you to really start to reevaluate your health and how you take care of yourself. So if you have been a Libra rising that has not been careful with yourself, you really have not taken care of yourself as you should, this is a time for you to reevaluate how you're taking care of your body. Maybe you need to have an appointment. You're long overdue for some type of medical appointment. Maybe it's just your routine yearly exam or your mammogram or your physical or something to that. And you need to return and have those tests or things like that done. This could be some of you returning to therapy. Maybe you're trying therapy again. You got yourself a new therapist and you're ready to contend with your mental health issues. Yes, I said I need to get back to moving my body. Oh, there you go. So we're continuing with going back to how we take care of ourselves. Are we honoring ourselves? Are we honoring how we take care of our physical self? Some of you could be returning to a dietary need, a dietary plan that you had for yourself. So You used to be a really, really strict vegan, and somewhere down the line you fell off, and you're like, you know what, I really felt good the way I used to eat when I was a vegan or a vegetarian or whatever it is, and you want to return to that as well. All right. Now, some of you could be ending or contending with a caretaker role. So if you're a Libra rising, this could look like some restructuring around your role as a caretaker. So this could be maybe you've been taking care of a loved one, maybe a family member, maybe a spouse. And caretaking can take on a lot of roles. This could be medical caretaker, or this could be a caretaker with regards to financial, or maybe you're taking care of someone's finances, making sure their bills are paid. Something about that role that you have as a caretaker could be restructuring itself, could be ending, could be taking on more responsibility. But there could be a change in your role around being a caretaker. All right. So the Venus retrograde for you could highlight a lot of work environment changes, medical, physical health changes, mental health changes in that way. All right. So if you are a Scorpio rising, what we just talked about for Libra rising on the second half is what you'll be contending with on the first half of this Venus retrograde. Okay. So we're talking about work environment. We're talking about your health, mental and physical health, and your role as a caregiver. On the second half, from March the 24th to April the 12th, Scorpio rising, you're going to be looking at things that have a theme around your children. So remember, Venus rules love, money, relationships. So this could be something with regards to your dynamic with your children. So these could be your own children. This could be the children that you have in your life. So it doesn't necessarily mean your children, but this could be children that you have in your life as well. Some of you could be hearing about a pregnancy if you're a Scorpio rising. So it could be your own pregnancy or someone close to you. This would be a great time if you're a Scorpio rising that had ever wanted to become a parent, and maybe the traditional way of becoming a parent wasn't something that was afforded to you. And maybe you thought about adoption or fostering or something to that effect, or surrogacy or freezing your eggs. This could be something that comes up, whereas either you return to that idea of maybe this is the way I'm going to start a family, or the opportunity to become a parent drops in your lap from some strange circumstance. All right. So we could be looking at that. This could also be, you're another one, because your fifth house is going to be lit up, and the fifth house is about dating and casual love affairs. So if you're a Scorpio rising, you could be seeing a lot of people from your past that you used to date come back. Maybe you run into them out at a social event. Maybe they actually reach out to you. Maybe they call you, send you a text. Maybe they reach out to you on social media or something to that effect. But yeah, you could be running into a lot of people that you used to date. You could also be running into a lot of people with you that you used to sleep with, because the fifth house governs casual sex. So these will be more of my hit it and quit it type of situations, or people that we just had a friends with benefits, or maybe we slept together a few times. So you could be running into those people that you may have had a casual sexual encounter with, or maybe you're thinking about returning to someone that you had a casual sexual encounter with. The opportunity comes up for you in that way. Now, this is also the area that governs dating and romance. Again, a lot of your dating, people from your dating past could be coming up. You're another one. If somebody returns and they're talking about, can we get back together? Here, my thing again is proceed with caution, and let's just see how this thing pans out after we get out of the Venus retrograde. Now, you can use this for your benefit, because this is the area of romance. So this is another person that could be breathing fresh new life into an existing relationship that may have lost its romance, may have lost its shine. It's gotten a little bit boring. So during this cycle, you can kind of like get it out of being so stagnant. All right. You could also be one of those that if there's an underlying issue that could be just keeps creeping up and creeping up, maybe this is the time that you finally resolve that relationship, resolve that dynamic with regards to this Venus retrograde during this time. Now, and this could also look like some of my Scorpio risings that are attached, especially if you're in a dating dynamic of some sort. There could be some big change around the future of this relationship. So some of you could be making a serious decision around this relationship. Should we continue on and take it to the next level and maybe we become exclusively dating or getting engaged? Or maybe we should just cut our losses because we're not compatible and we just go our separate ways so we can find the person that we are ultimately supposed to be with. All right? How's that sound? And some of you could be, this is the area that governs luck. So some of you could be on the receiving end of some financial gain or unexpected financial blessing could come your way as well too. All right. Who's next? Sagittarius rising. If you're a Sagittarius rising, which my niece is a Sagittarius rising, what we just talked about for Scorpio rising on the second half of the retrograde is what you're going to be experiencing on the first half. So all those things around children, pregnancy, dating, and romance are going to be impacting you from March the 1st through the 24th. All right. But we get to the second half of the retrograde for you, March the 24th through April the 12th. This is going to be about your home life. So your fourth house is going to be lit up. So we're talking about family. So that's the family that you were born into and also the family you create for yourself. This is also where you live, your physical space where you live, your home life and your home. This could also look like your children as well. This is a parental house. So we're looking at our parental figures. All right. This also, we're going to be looking at the women that play a prominent role in our lives. So this could be a sister, our daughter, our mother, our, your close friends, things of that nature. Women that are, hold a special sacred space for you. But again, it's also a parental house as well. And this is about our emotional foundation. So with Venus in retrograde here, you, number one, could be getting maybe somebody in your family that's loaned you money, you've loaned money to, pays you back the loan that you made to them. Venus in the fourth house is great for redecorating your current space. So you may be thinking about painting. You may be thinking about getting new furniture. You may be thinking about doing something to spruce up where you live to make it new. So we're going to be redecorating possibly. This could also look like, especially because property is here. If you are a Sagittarius rising that has been trying to sell a property, this may be a time that you may get an offer on a property that you've been trying to sell, or you may need to reconsider what your asking price is on something that needs to be sold, especially if it's property or a house or land or something like that. You may want to go in and readjust what you're asking for. You may get a better result that way, or you may be relisting a property. This would be a great time for you if you took some property off the market previously, putting it back on right now would be great. You may actually get an offer, or you actually may get the offer that you want. Some of you could be going back over the possibility of moving. So you could be moving to a new space or planning to move to a new space. This could also look like somebody moving back in, because remember, this is a retrograde. So this could be a family member moving back in. So it could be somebody moving back into your house, or coming back into your life in some way. Remember, family, friends, romantic, all kinds of relationships could be showing up during this time for you, Sagittarius rising. So somebody could be returning, maybe on a family level, moving back in with you, or just reconnecting with you, or trying to reach out to you in some way. So that's kind of what's going to be going on with you, family wise. And we could also be contending with, for Sagittarius rising, any unresolved family issues. Again, this could be the family that you were born into, or your current family that you created for yourself. We could be contending with old issues from the past with regards to family dynamics. All right. If you are a Capricorn rising, what we just talked about for Sagittarius rising on the second half is what you're going to be contending with on the first half. So March the 1st through the 24th, you're contending with residential issues. We're contending with family dynamics. We're contending with redecorating, revamping your home space, buying and selling a property. You know, some of you could be dealing with a home-based business of some sort. So we're dealing with things around our family, all right? But the second half is on March the 24th through April the 12th. It's going to be about your communication. So your third house is going to be lit up, Capricorn rising. So this is going to look like for you, number one, short distance travel will come into play. All right. Now, where the ninth house is long distance, the third house is more short distance. And when we talk about short distance, we're talking about maybe road trips. We're talking about, it could be air travel, but it's within the state, within your region, not out of the country or anything like that. This could also look like your siblings and your extended family. So we're talking about aunts, uncles, cousins, our siblings, and our neighborhood. So for you, with Venus being retrograde here, you could be running into a lot of people that you may have been in proximity to. So this could look like you used to be neighbors, like old neighbors, or old people from the neighborhood that you grew up in. So old neighbors, you could be running into them, and you'll probably be running into them in your local area when you're out running your errands. So you may run into a friend of yours that you went to elementary school with, used to stay next down the street from you guys, or you may run into an old neighbor from your the neighborhood that you used to live in when you first bought your house, something to that effect. So you could be doing that. You could be doing a lot of road trips. Again, you're the same as when you're returning to a destination that you've been before. So you could be doing a lot of road trips. You could be flying to some destination that you've been before. And it could be travel with your siblings as well. Either your sibling is traveling with you, or you're traveling to see a sibling, or there's something wrapped around your extended family in this travel. Maybe this is you're traveling to a family event. Maybe somebody's getting married. Maybe it's a birthday party. Hopefully it's not like a funeral or anything, but it could be. But this could be travel that's related to a family event that you're dealing with or contending with, or you just needing to go see family members that are out of town. This will also be a good time for my business owners. With this Venus retrograde and Venus ruling money, this will be a great time for you to start to revamp and rebrand. So if you ever thought about revamping and rebranding your business, maybe starting a marketing campaign for your business, this is the great time for you to do it. This is also a great time for you, my Capricorn risings, to revamp your website. If you need to go in there and update some things, maybe you need to change it. Maybe you need to hire someone to come in and do a website for you. Maybe you've been thinking about it this whole time and you know that there's a benefit towards it with your business. Maybe it's time for you to hire someone to design that website for you. That marketing campaign, that marketing material, pushing your business. This also look like some business opportunities coming back as well. If my Capricorn rising has been in the middle of contract negotiation, you actually may see a breakthrough with regards to your contract negotiation as well. And some of you would benefit with returning to school. Now, this is the education component with you is a little bit different because it's not necessarily higher education, but it could be. But this is more or less if you wanted to go to school to learn a trade. So we're looking like educational pursuits that may be 2 years or less. We could also be looking at education pursuits that are like more like obtaining a certification or accreditation, or maybe it's just an educational pursuit solely on something that you enjoy. So this may be a hobby related educational pursuit as well. All right. If you're an Aquarius rising, what we just talked about for Capricorn rising on the second half is actually what you're going to be contending with on the first half. So March the 1st to the 24th is what this is going to look like for you. But when we get to the second half of this Venus retrograde, March 24th through the 12th, this is about your money. So this one is pretty much straightforward. This is how you earn your money. This is your material possessions. This is the things that we own, the things that we value. Your self-worth is here as well. So when we first started the live and we talked about Venus ruling our value and our self-worth, I think for Aquarius rising, you're going to be really one of the signs that is going to be focusing not so much on other things, but how you value yourself. Because the second half rules our self-worth and our self-value, this could come into question, you questioning, how am I valuing myself? How am I honoring myself? What do I need to do to treat myself better? It has nothing to do with your relationships with other people and how people view you. This is about how you view yourself. So this is going to be a lot of self-reflection during this time. This could also look like you, with that self-reflection and with that honoring yourself and valuing yourself, releasing old hurts, releasing old traumas, releasing a lot of self-sabotaging behavior that has been holding you back. This cycle for you is a cycle about just honoring yourself. All right. Now, because the second house is lit up, this is about our money as well. So some of you could be having, with it being in retrograde, a lot of money-making opportunities coming back your way. Opportunities to invest. You may see a big return, especially if you're an Aquarius rising that has been investing money maybe in the stock market, investing money in these different IRAs and things of that nature. Some of you could be seeing like a return on that, a financial return on that as well. So this will be a time that you have to decide, hey, I've been investing in this. Maybe I want to pull my money out and I want to reap my return. Or you see some kind of financial gain that comes back to you for the effort, maybe the money and the time that you've invested into something else. Some of you could be seeing a return, a financial return on something, a material possession that you may have invested in previously. Let's just say, for instance, you bought a piece of jewelry years ago, and you bought it dirt cheap. And then you go and have it appraised. I'm just giving an example. You go and have it appraised at a jewelry store to see what it's worth. And come to find out the value of this piece of jewelry or whatever this thing is has quadrupled in some way. Or you brought stock in a company, an upcoming company a few years ago. And all of a sudden their stock like goes through the roof and you have like this huge financial return on some stock that you bought that was like pennies on a dollar years ago. And now it's like worth, I don't know, thousands, maybe millions here, but I'm just, whatever it is like quadrupled in its value. So things like that could be happening with you as well. And you also, another one that would benefit from looking over your budget and how you're spending your money, and also reevaluating your relationship, not only with yourself, but your relationship with money as well is going to be a focal point for this retrograde as well. All right. And finally, Pisces rising. So if you are a Pisces rising, what we just talked about for Aquarius rising on the second half of this is what you're going to be contending with on the first half. So March the 4th through the 24th is about your self-worth, your self-value, and how you've been investing your money over the years and the return that you may get. All right. But the second half for you, March the 24th through April the 12th, is going to look at your physical body. So you're going to be much like Aries risings, talking about how you take care of your physical self. Now, again, this could look like you overhauling or revamping your style of dress, how you wear your hair, the aesthetics of how you show up. Now, I'm going to tell you, like I told Aries rising, do not make any type of physical permanent changes right now, because you may not like the change as we get out of the cycle mid-April. But play around with different, clothing options, things of that nature. So it's more like you're planning to do these things. Again, do not have any type of elective cosmetic surgery during this time. Anything that you have to cut, inject, or put into your body, your face, or whatever, let's just wait until we get out of the cycle. You may not like the results, and it may be some difficulties with the procedures, and I don't want you to have to contend with that. But this is also energy around you renewing or maybe revamping your personal goals as well. You're another one that could possibly be getting attention from old loves, old people that you dated, people from relationships prior could be trying to reach out to you, or you could be running into those people as well. Take that with a grain of salt. It may not be the best thing for you to do, but take that with a grain of salt as well. But this is all about you realigning yourself, both mentally, physically, professionally, and along with your personal goals. All right. And that is how the Venus retrograde is going to be impacting everyone during this cycle. Does anyone have any questions? I know I said I wasn't going to take no questions, but anybody have any questions? We got a little bit of time. And I think I'm getting ready to go pick up my car in a minute. So, from what we talked about, based on your rising sign, has anyone started to feel any of these energetically, Hey, everybody. I got some new people on here. Any questions? All right. So if we don't have any questions, we don't have any comments or any input, I'm going to let you guys go. I think I need to go pick up my car. Hopefully it's ready. You guys have been a great audience. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Of course, the video will... Thank you. The video will stay up on my Instagram, and the edited version will be on my YouTube channel. Please support me on my YouTube channel and on my social media platforms. Oh, I finally got my TikTok back, y'all. Finally. I was one of those people that deleted the app when they said they were taking it away, and then we just now getting the app back, so I'm back on TikTok. But I haven't been able to sign back into my business account, so I'm going to have to reach out to TikTok and figure out how to do that. But anyway, thank you guys for joining me again. I hope you enjoyed the Venus retrograde. As I always tell you, don't be afraid of the retrogrades. They're here to help. If anything, they're here to give you an opportunity just to slow down and rest. So enjoy the retrograde. Do not fear it, as always. And you guys have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.